enjoy the beers. Yes, yes, you beautiful people. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome along once again to some live beer reviews with me, Disco, coming at you in front of the cans and bottles here in the bar. What I'm still weirdly calling the Disco Arms. And indeed, I've got a kind of weird little lineup of beers this evening to get through from the beer stash to review and taste. These ones have been probably sitting in there a while. All ones are planned to do a kind of standalone video on, and as always, in my incompetence or busyness, never quite got around to. So I thought I'd put them all together. They all have some strange or slightly weird, unusual, maybe adjuncts. Certainly not something you see a lot of in a couple of cases. And once again, I'm asking the question: what is the weirdest or strangest or most unusual adjunct you've seen in a beer? The three I've got today, I don't think are particularly weird because they've got, I suppose, solid reasons for them, and I hope we'll find out. I hope everybody's got a beer on as well as we're getting towards getting over hump day and midweeks. Mr. Wilson, good afternoon, good evening, as always. Thanks for popping in. Yes, the Dandelion&Burdock I've had for most of this year. In fact, I looked it up earlier. It was just at the back end of last year, and I kept trying to do it and never quite got around to it. So it should be okay. It's a lager, so it should be all right. Yeah, I like to do something a little bit different. In a craft beer world of IPAs and double IPAs, nothing wrong with that. That's fine. I dabble myself sometimes as well. Paul Greenwood, thanks for popping in. You're having a good week and maybe got a cheeky tipple on. If I'm enjoying one of you, as I'm off work tomorrow. Cool. Yeah, I'm sort of not really off work. I'm going in at some point, but I don't quite know when. Got a delivery. Got some more cans to put beer in because we run out. Get a pallet of cans in occasionally. So I'll go in tomorrow. But got this little lineup of weird and unusual adjuncted beers. Have you had a Dandelion&Burdock soft drink? Yes, a long time ago. I'll come on to that one because I've kind of mixed the order up a little bit. Normally I like to go up the ABV or up the darkness scale, but because the first one is an amber, I'm going to start with it, even though it's the higher ABV. Let's get into a glass and find out, and then I'll come back to Dandelion&Burdock in a second. But where have they gone? Let's go with beer number one, please. And beer number one is this delightful looking stubby little bowl. I kind of like the shape of them. A little stubby bit there, and then they've got a little stubby bit on the neck as well. All the way from Japan. I've had these in a couple of months, and again, never quite got round to it. Let's put it into a glass and have a look. Oh, sounds a bit bubbly. No, it's okay. It's not going everywhere. Get into small-sided glass. So this works. So they describe this as an Imperial Amber Ale. Now, because it's from Japan, maybe they have a slightly different interpretation of the word Imperial. I mean, 7%'s getting there. What we generally call an Imperial beer is over 7. That's 7.5, I think. Really like the bottles. Nice, smart. But I've got all the information that you need on the bottle. Come to that in a minute. I'll come back to the comments in a second. Really good head development. Kind of darkish. Yeah, really dark amber with slightly red hue on that. Let's see how we get on with the photograph. Managed to get some photographs up on Instagram today. I'm a little bit behind, having done a stream on Sunday. I've done 3 streams this week. My voice still hasn't recovered, but yeah, I never got a Sunday's ones up yet because of the nature of those beers on Sunday. Quite special beers. Didn't quite have time to get the appropriate words out today. It was a little bit of a rush. So I thought we'll do them when I have a bit more time, hopefully tomorrow. Mostly I'm waiting for a pallet of cans to turn up. We shall see how that goes. But yeah, I rushed out the ones from Monday night because I thought it was a good stream on Monday night, but I can't say I was overly impressed with the beers on Monday night. And it's really bad. I feel really bad putting on Instagram when you're tagging breweries in and going, yeah, this is all right, but not the best. And I was kind of looking forward to those beers. I think I'm probably looking forward to these ones even a little bit more. Nice name on the bottle tap. Nice smart bottle taps. Bottle caps. God, my voice is all over the shop, man. Where are we? Oh, yeah, Paul's on vacation. Drinking life and death. Fair play. Been in my fridge for months. That'll be fine. I meant, have you tried a dandy? Oh, yeah, of course. Yes. Oh, okay. I presume not the soft drink. We'll come on to that in a bit, actually. Yeah, Japanese beer, a little bit unusual anyway. I saw them a few months ago. There was there's like a distributors over in London somewhere that did a little bit of what do you call it? A little bit of thing with some creators over on Instagram and some influencers. Don't ask me. But anyway, I saw them. I looked intrigued and I saw this one. And this is kind of what intrigued me about the order. So I purchased a few anyway, just to show there's no hard feelings that I didn't get asked to review them. But yeah, this one, Coedo Brewery, that's how you say it, from Japan. The beer is called Beniaka. It's a 7% Imperial sweet potato amber ale. And like I say, really quite dark for the amber. It's more brown, more like a brown ale on camera. But there is some kind of very deep amber notes on it. I don't know about sweet potato in a beer. I guess it's something to do with the starch. Yay! Mr. Wilson's heading to Perivale. Paul, you're coming out of London as well. Superb. Yeah. No, good to see you. I do have a little challenge for you as well. I've just thought about earlier, Mr. Wilson. I'll mention that when we talk about the Dandelion&Burdock. Heathrow Airport, literally, we will see you take off pretty much. We see all the flights, and kind of only really about 5 or 6 miles from Heathrow over at Perivale. So we got a good view of a lot of the outgoing planes. Depending on where you fly to, we do have a flight path right over the top of the brewery. So if you're heading North Atlantic way, there's a good chance we'll see your flight take off. Or if you're going on the Sunday, even so. Mersey Beers, good to see you once again. Pending MOT, me and the dog are heading to a little place called Ramsbury tomorrow. Superb. You got the soft drink. Is it the Luke Shaw's? Because that would be funny. I did actually have a little look, as I say, in like some local ones for a Dandelion&Burdock to go with it, but I rushed it and kind of failed. We'll come on to that one definitely in a minute. Remind me. Yeah, so I know nothing about the brewery, nothing about the beer particularly. I had I got half a dozen beers in, just sort of random things that interested me, mostly pales and a couple of, I think, dark lagers. I had the Hefeweizen, which wasn't too bad. Head retention sticking around whilst I've been waffling. So let's see if we can smell potatoes. Yeah, not especially. There's a definite kind of, it feels like a bit of a slight starchy earthiness to it. Smells like a good amber ale. It's got that good brewery note of plenty of maltiness. A touch of like fiery hop note maybe. I don't think it's going to be too hoppy, but it's definitely a kind of savoury overtone. Cheers, Shock, and to everybody. It's to mention, oh no, I should have waited. I should have done this stream next week. I could have put it on there. If only. I very nearly did cancel it, but I've got these beers in for so long. I need to get beers done. So that's why I've done 3 streams this week, technically, if you count Sunday as the start of this week. But I've got another can of it, so we shall see. We shall see. I might even bring the other can along, eh? Anyway, I've got a plan for that. I'll talk about that later. Right, so this one, so 7%. So I'm starting with a big one. Hope it will soothe the throat. The throat's not sore. I just still, as soon as I start talking, I've got this kind of fog in the throat kind of thing. So let's see if he can smooth out the fog in the throat. Cheers, all. Enjoy the beers. Let's see what we get from a sweet potato amber ale. I'm looking forward to this. Nice. Really nice. I'm never entirely sure about amber ales. I often feel them a bit hoppier, but it's got that slight, definitely soft and kind of chewy toffee kind of thing in the middle, the center. I don't know if you know what I mean when I say on the outer edges. It always feels some beers have this kind of like burr on the edge, a bit like licking brown sugar. This has got that kind of outer edge of slight roughness, but it's muted. It's not full brown sugar roughness. There is a little brown sugary kind of toffee note going on, but it's nice. It's really nice. It's strong. It's what's that? Not sort of cough mixture-y strong, because it's not sweet enough. It's not really sweet at all. In terms of sugary sweetness, but it's got a slightly umami, slightly savory kind of note going on in the background. Yeah, it looks great. Really hard to tell on camera because of the lighting, but the head retention staying there. There's a little bit more kind of piffy earthiness going on, but not grapefruit. Just a kind of slight kind of roughness. In a good way. I normally moan about grapefruit piffiness, but in a good way, this is really nice. It's definitely unusual, definitely a bit different. I don't fully know where the sweet potato is in it, because it's neither particularly sweet and doesn't particularly taste of sweet potato. Anyway, it's just an edge of sweetness there, and I do like a good sweet potato fry. Yeah, it's got it tastes strong, but not overpoweringly so. It's nicely balanced off a very slight rum barrel spirity edge, bit of brown sugar, bit of toffee going on there, and it's kind of a nicely balanced savory edge to it. It's really interesting, really different. I imagine the sweet potato is there for the starch. More starch turns into sugar, turns into more alcohol. Is my brief understanding of brewing procedures. You guys will be able to tell me more about that. And I guess if you've got an abundance of cheap produce like that, I suppose sweet potatoes are fairly easy to come by, grow well. Here's a question right out of left field. See what I did there? Is Ben Shaw related to Luke Shaw? Maybe have to give that one a miss. I don't know, there's a Man United joke there, but I don't know enough about it. But yeah, Ben Shaw's. Yeah, I'll come on to that in a minute. So all the best. All the best. Good luck to your car for the MOT, Adam. Hope it works. Hope it makes it. Excuse me. Let me remind myself I was gonna do this. So I didn't have time to set this up. Let's do the info on the glass first, and then I'll come back to where I got it from and why. I remember it from back in the day, but you don't really see it that much these days. How you doing? A beer festival up at Ramsbury? Superb. Hopefully it's a good weekend for it. I'm not sure. Weather reports are not looking great for the weekend. Right, so not surprisingly, there's a lot of Japanese on this, but they do kindly put some English in it as well. Don't say the hops particularly, just said hops. But yeah, sweet potato, not flavorings, but actual sweet potato, it says. Coedo, Beniaka, Imperial, sweet potato, amber ale, 7%. Oh yeah, 333ml bottle, which pleases me immensely. More than a 330. I love repetitive numbers like that. It's kind of cool. Yeah. Okay. I don't think this is who I ordered it from. Oh, here we go. Best before the 2nd of the 5th, 2025. So I'm a little out of date. So it has sat in my stash a little bit too long, which means I must get the other ones out and done as well. But this one is easy one. I can just reach in again and have a strongish beer. Product of Japan, I guess imported by Tazaki Foods Limited, Innova Way, Enfield, Middlesex, the other side of the county to me. And also into Ireland. Yeah, so it says on the front here, super premium Japanese craft beer. And it also says, beer beautiful. Great words to live by, generally, So, yeah, not a lot of information to find on that one. Let me just scroll down the grid quickly, because that name doesn't ring a bell. I just want to see where I got it from. Has anybody else got drinks on a Wednesday? Has anybody cracked anything? Or am I drinking alone? It's not a problem if they are. I know Paul's got his life and death going on there. There's a really nice sort of alcohol burn tingle going on there as well. It's kind of warming. Almost suggestive of slightly more than 7%. Oh, there's the other one I had from them. A Hefeweizen called Shiro. Yeah, that was good as well. In the German style. A bit more toffee coming up now. A bit more sweetness. That sweetness is a kind of long development, but it's more of a kind of honey-like sweetness and a kind of big malty sweetness from like an Imperial kind of stout or Imperial ale, as befits the description. Really nice, really balanced across all those flavors. You know when you're trying to do something swiftly, slickly, and with panache. I forgot to line the bloody thing up, but this is how long ago I picked these up. Have I gone past it? Oh, excuse-moi. No, I haven't, because there's a little bit of saltiness in there as well now. That's the kind of savoury as well, a little bit salinity. Oh, dear. Can't have been that far ago, can it? No, that's the Dandelion&Burdock. It's definitely before that. I'm going to need to come back to that in a bit, because that was before Christmas. Okay, this is annoying me now. It's got to be there somewhere. I saw it this afternoon. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so it's a place called Yutaka Shop online. Had a decent website. Also does a lot of Japanese foods. Frozen delivery. I made a mistake of picking an ice cream up, but it got melted by the time, even well wrapped. And plenty of Japanese craft beer. Oh, let's come back to the start. Well, that was it. that went well, didn't it? Having a Murphy's. What a 10-pack of Murphy's. Fair play, that'll keep you amused for the weekend. Mr. Wilson's on a Red Willow, very English IPA. Perifel should have a word. What about doing IPAs? I'm going to try an O'Hara Nitro. Oh, yeah, I didn't get hold of that one. Even Rob, Mr. Brews Home Brews and Beer Reviews. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're having a good week and you've got a beer on. Yeah, so really interesting one, this one. With that sweet potato kind of sitting innocently in there. Without really knowing quite what it is. It's just got that kind of savoury note, a little bit of salinity. Really well done beer, I think. Head retention's good, staying on the top there. So a really nicely done beer. Seems to travel well because it's got a bit of robustness to it, but without being too rough. It's kind of, when I say the word robust, I don't always mean rough and ready. I mean solid, chunky. But this has got a little bit of roughness to it as well, but it's nicely balanced. It's not too rough, not too piffy, kind of earthiness, but there's just that hint of earthiness there. Yeah, really nice, this one. I say I'm never too sure about amber ales. I don't think we're going to do a lot from this one either, but I did line up the brewery website. AI tells us, though, Coedo Brewery is a Japanese craft brewery founded in 1996 in Kawagori, Saitama Prefecture. Don't actually know where it is. It's known for using local ingredients like rice and yuzu in its beers. Coedo is a nickname for Kawagori, which literally means Little Tokyo in Japanese. There you go. But I guess they're not in Tokyo, but let's see if we can get a translation on any of this. Yay. Oh, look. Sign up for our newsletter. I'm waiting for the RU18 one. Seem to prefer bottles. I do like these stubby little bottles. They're kind of quite cute in a way. And they do cans as well. A red lager. Nice. There's the lineup of bottles. Let's see what we find. So I've got 3 of those, I think. Beniaka says Cool Flight. An original ale with a fragrant and rich taste using Kawagori's traditional red sweet potato. See if we can get that any bigger so I can see it like you guys. There you go. Beniaka is a beer made from traditional red sweet potatoes from Kawagori and is named after its rich sweetness and deep taste. This Imperial sweet potato amber ale brings out the natural sweetness of sweet potatoes. Fair play. I don't know. I just get sort of savoury. It's not a problem because it's a nice beer. The natural sweetness of sweet potatoes harmonizes with the umami of malt to create a mellow taste. While having a mellow and rich mouthfeel, the aftertaste is refreshing and easy to drink. It has a deep flavour and is the perfect beer to enjoy slowly. Sounds like a little bit of marketing words there, but they're not wrong. It does have quite a mellow taste. Mellow is what I'm saying about that kind of slightly rough, kind of savoury edge to it. Sweetness develops a little bit later, in and amongst that kind of imperial, spirity, barrel-agedness. In fact, they use local ingredients is great. Red sweet potato, I guess, gets that kind of sweet potato. I always think is orange, so that kind of gives it that kind of deep, kind of almost mahogany dark amber color. I like it. I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I just saw that video earlier, Red Willow on the Craft Beer channel. good to see them. I don't think they're under the radar though. I think they're fairly well known, aren't they? They've been around 5 or 6 years. I still haven't properly got onto them. I like what they do. One of many breweries that I like what they do, and I like the branding and the stuff like that. I just haven't been there at the right time to pull the trigger for an order. I will get around to it eventually, I guess. A midweek tipple, Rob? Going to local Spoons tomorrow afternoon with a friend. Looking forward to see what is available on cask. I can't remember the name of Stockport Spoons. We've had this discussion before. Because I haven't been there, I don't remember it. I only vaguely remember the 450 odd that I have been to. I'm sure there's more than one in Stockport, isn't there? I haven't had time to go to Spoons this week. I haven't even been past it that much. I do want to try and do a live stream from Spoons at some point because it's a really good Spoons, my local one. Yeah. Same here. Yeah, this is really nice. I'm gonna think about it. Second one, I've got a second bottle of it. So, yeah, as odd adjuncts go, it makes much more sense, sweet potato, because there's all the starch and the sugars and the savoury kind of flavour, which sometimes you get and is good in a beer. It's a really nicely done beer, well balanced, strong, but not overpoweringly so. Great flavours. I love it. And something, yeah, really different. Not really sure about vegetables in beers, but I like to try them, and I don't see why not. Yeah, looks good, tastes good. And yeah, that important that I mentioned earlier, they were pretty good on the delivery. Delivered same week, same day. In the same week, several days after the order. Come in nicely packaged, and some good beers, and also some snacks. As you know, I don't really eat on camera, but I bought some, I don't know, odd-looking sweet potato snacks. So I thought I'd pair it with this beer just to see where the sweet potato is. And they were a really odd shape, which, I don't know, I think helps the flavour. They look like caterpillars. They're kind of maize-type snacks. I can't remember how much they were. Under £2, so a good price. Oh, they're weird. They're a bit weird. Kind of crunchy, but soft, but oddly sweet. Oddly sweet. Actually, that's really nice. That goes really well with the beer because the sweetness of the crisp really brings out the sweetness of the beer. It's definitely in there, a bit later developing, but over the palate, that's a really good combination. That's not a bad beer snack. I don't like eating on camera because of the noise and the crumbs. I nearly forgot about them. That's a nice little snack, and a really good beer. Let's put them up there. We've got space. There we go. Yeah, so I got them at the same time from that distributor. It's probably a bit remiss of me to start with that 7% beer. That's a nice little finish. I didn't know it was going to be so dark because I've saved the darker ones for second and third. Not a Stockport Town Centre Spoons. That's how can I say rough as Fook. To Hazel Grove. Oh, one is going up market, is one, Rob. One is going to the posh end of town. I imagine Hazel Grove to be posh. I don't know. Wasn't Hazel Grove a Blue Peter presenter back in the day? No. Hazel Grove. That's the end of the train line. That's the only reason I know Hazel Grove, but that name has always amused me. Henry 420, as always, thanks for popping in. You've got some more of that beer mungle rubbish. A 5 down as well. Fair play. No, it's fine. If you can chug that, happy days. Enjoy, man. I would say to make it have anybody drinking beer mungle, but it's fair enough. Yep, see you in a bit. Some other beers to come. Talking of beers, I don't know talking about Hogsback APA. Windsor Eaton Conqueror's beer I haven't had for a long time, or the Guardsman. Windsor Eaton in general for that, but used to be pretty good. Yeah, love a bit of snacks, a bit of beer snacks. They're a bit weird, but go well. Wilfred Wood in Hazel Grove. Okay, Calver's Court in Stockport Town Centre says very odd folk in. Well, you don't want to add to the numbers. Seem to want to fight everyone and anyone at any time of the day. So you don't go there, so you're not tempted to fight anyone and everyone. I can't see that happening, but yeah. Yeah, let us know, man. Let us know what. A lot of people don't like spoons, but I'm generally favourable to the beers there. 5 on tap, including pump water. Superb. Who's superb? Aha. Well, I'm guessing I normally find out the old Wetherspoons app, which actually is pretty good and pretty handy. I don't know why I'm talking about Wetherspoons, but why not? Yeah, the old Wetherspoons app on the phone. I'm not a big fan of apps, but yeah, Wetherspoons app. It will tell you. In fact, just because these things amuse me, shall we see what you can get tomorrow, or do you want me to not spoil the surprise? Let me know. I can spoil the surprise by browsing the pubs, typing in Hazel Grove. Oh yeah, the Wilfred Wood. Please do. Okay, well this is live beer information. There you go. Look, yeah, Dave's on the app as well. Order from the table. No, if you're old, you go to the bar. This is a young man's game. This is ordering from the app. So I browse the old me and you. Yeah, so I won't be able to show you. So you don't actually have to put a table number in, but it's generally for like food ordering and stuff. But you can just order a pint. I always feel a bit bad sitting at a table, usually outside at the moment, and ordering a pint. So here we go. We've got the. Not going to be able to focus on that. I'm going to have to read them out. Right. So apart from the usual trio of doom, which Wetherspooners commonly use, there we go. We focus to the trio of Ruddles, Green King, and Doombar. You're pleased to know the Abbot Ale is off, so you won't be getting Abbot Ale. So only 2 of the trio of Doom. Thornbridge Jaipur is on. £3.10 a pint. Not too bad. I'm happy I paid that. Brightside, Odin. I've had a few Brightside beers. Pale, Odin Pale. And Brightside's the Mancunian. Phoenix, which I only ever see up your way and down here occasionally. They have an Arizona, a pale coloured, light and hoppy. That always worries me. Another Brightside Maverick IPA. Now, I like Brightside, but they don't really see them much, I don't think, outside of Manchester. So, I got a big order from them a year before last, but I haven't gone back to them. And I think it was only because they had a beer called with Disco in the name. But their darker beers are pretty good. Briefly went into cans as well a few years back, but I haven't seen anything of them, and they don't really respond on social media. So, and finally, a pint of Titanic Plum Porter for you. So I would think plenty to get into there, if not a lot of choice on breweries: Brightside, Phoenix, and Titanic, or Jaipur. So yeah, a decent lineup, and if they're any good with their beers, which some Wetherspoons are, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. A good afternoon slurp there, I think. Talking of slurps, let's get straight on to a beer number 2, please. Beer number 2, oops, haven't got it out, is the aforementioned, Mr. Wilson was talking about this earlier. Lumi, yeah, good stuff. I'm happy to look at Wetherspoon's menus. These things amuse me. Like I say, I've not been to the one in Stockport or Hazel Grove, because the last time I went to Stockport, I wasn't actively collecting spoons, but kind of still not at the moment. But yeah, so yeah, beer number 2, forget myself again. Beer number 2 is from Kirkstall Brewery up in Yorkshire. It's a kind of collaboration with Ben Shaw's. They have the soft drinks fame from that way. It's a name I have heard. And again, Dave Wilson was talking about actually having the Dandelion&Burdock can. It's a dark lager. Do love a dark lager. Got quite a few dark lagers knocking around at the moment. I'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, it pours out pretty lively, quite dark, but kind of, yeah, cola-ish. But it comes up nice and thick on the pour. Nice head development, but a soft, fairly fluffy, kind of pillowy head. Plenty of bubbles. Come up lively on the head, so we'll wait a second, get that all in the can, in the bottle, in the glass. Quite like Kirkstall's can design again. Really simple. Haven't bothered with a beer name on this one. Just call it Dandelion&Burdock Black Lager. Why not? But yeah, brewery logo, beer name, beer style. Even got space for the collab on the front, and then some fairly funky dandelion-based artwork. Now, I have to admit, although I've seen Dandelion&Burdock around, haven't had one for a while, I have precisely no idea what burdock is. I'm guessing it's another herb type plant. Maybe we'll find out in a minute. Let's do the photograph first. As always, excellently reminded by Mr. Wilson. Thank you very much indeed. Please keep up the good work. You have to remind me of someone else Saturday as well. Got it in the Northern glass. The old McCall's. Just about losing the light again now. Yeah, so I picked this one up before Christmas. I didn't realise it was a collab of sorts with Ben Shaw's. I was a little bit surprised by that when I found out, because those Ben Shaw drinks kind of, soda pops on it. They're pop, so they're kind of sort of on the way to appealing to kids, I would have thought. So to do an alcohol collab is a bit strange, but obviously that doesn't bother me. Paul, cheers, Remley's Ales. And I hope you're having a good week so far. Thanks for popping in. Some really unusual beers today, Paul. Don't know about these ones. How you feel about unusual adjuncts in beers? Let me know your most unusual adjunct. I'm really interested to know, because I will always look out for them, because it's something a bit different to your best bitters and your hoppy pales. Yeah, so it looks pretty decent in the glass. Definitely a very, very black, slight tan on the head. Mr. B just saw it. That was quick. Nice one. Seven Brothers have keg beer. Okay, yeah. I didn't see that on there because I was only looking at the cask beer, the real ales. But my brewery, my Wetherspoons, has that. Unexpectedly, they have Mad Squirrel on keg, the Big C. Admittedly, the West Coast you can get in cans in the supermarket. But interesting to see, to be fair. And I like Mad Squirrel anyway. Yeah, same with all beer, really, I suppose. It's more or less a Ben Shaw can with added well, yes, because Ben Shaw's do have that purple can. I had a beer with maple syrup, pine needles, coffee, and scrapple. You're going to have to translate for me what scrapple is. Some kind of apple. We did a pine needle beer at Christmas. I don't like pine, so that's one of my least favourite beers that we actually do. A Brewdog beer, a beer mongrel beer with crickets. I suppose that gives it added body, doesn't it? I've eaten cricket at a wild food festival in New Zealand, and also at tree grubs and wasp larvae. So yeah, that doesn't seem. I mean, that is fairly unusual. Again, that's about proteins and sugars, starch, I guess, isn't it? It's cornmeal spices and grounded boiled pig meat. Scrapple, blimey. Well, yeah, that is That is fairly weird and unusual. As I always say, I mean, like my most unusual one, I think, is Japanese knotweed, which is actually on the bar. So you can try a bit of that if you want, Mr. Wilson, on Saturday, and do let me know what you think about Japanese knotweed. I'm not sure that's any weirder than crickets. I think crickets is probably weirder, but I'm kind of all up for that stuff. Ground boiled pig meat and spices. I don't know about the why the pine needles are in that, or the coffee. It does sound pretty damn awesome, to be fair, and that is a very unusual. It's a very unusual mix. I can see how the maple syrup goes with the scrapple. I can't see the pine goes with coffee at all. Grapefruit flavored coffee, yeah. But that sounds, mad. Japanese knotweed. Well, I don't know about over there, but over here we're not allowed to destroy it, move it, or for fear of spreading it. But I believe, well, if you take the top bit off and don't actually disturb it, you do have to be very careful where you distribute it. But ours was on a bit of council land, so we was allowed to carefully transport it and put it in the beer. But just the new shoots, it's a bit late now, I think, but all the very new shoots in kind of April, early May, make for a really decent kind of slightly odd beer. Slightly different flavour this year to last year, especially as we've had this conversation last year. Mr. Wilson doesn't like pickled gherkin or pickled anything, so I think that's less of a flavour this time. There's a different flavour come through, maybe also a bit of rhubarb and pickled gherkin, but there's a different flavour come through a little bit this year, probably on the different batch. Let's get into this one, but I'm hopefully you'll enjoy a bit of that. Exactly. Look like asparagus coloured rhubarb. I don't get the rhubarb taste so much. Different people have said different things. Or you can just chop them up and put them in a salad. A bit like celery, kind of sweetness and a little bit of pickle kind of note. The one I had anyway. I don't know what the variation of flavour is, but we've called it not welcome, which is going to amuse me when I fill a pint and say, "You're not welcome." Sorry, you're not welcome, sir. Invasive species, but has some use. So Dandelion&Burdock. I would never think to go and eat a dandelion, but apparently you can. Not sure which ones. Don't take my advice on that. Check before you travel and all that. No idea what burdock is, but there's a very dark malt note to that. Feels like a bit of coffee, but definitely a little bit of savouriness. Definitely a little bit of savoury, a little bit of not quite pepperiness, but it's kind of there. Cheers, Dandelion&Burdock, dark lager. Why not? Oh, yeah. So we're only 4.2%, so we're coming down from that Imperial Amber Ale. That's it's a good dark lager. It's got that. It's a very black coffee kind of note going on. It feels a bit like plenty of black malt in it, plenty of darker malts, not a lot of chocolate going on. Touch of cocoa maybe, but there's no. I'm not sure where the dandelion and or the burdock actually is. Maybe it's just in that kind of savoury kind of edge. I got these in originally because somebody at the brewery was trying to convince me that we should do a Dandelion&Burdock beer, and I got them in, and I didn't actually get around to drinking them. I gave them away. I gave one to my boss, and he actually did a dark lager, which is just about still on the bar. As long as we don't sell out on Friday night, we've still got a keg. So that would be an interesting comparison. This is much more black coffee kind of note, a kind of dark bitterness of black coffee. Not like I go around drinking black coffee a lot. I prefer it much sweeter. there is a sweetness there, but it's not heavy. And there is like, I don't know, I want to say something like chicory or something like that. Not that I go around eating or drinking chicory coffee that much. But yeah, so it's a kind of dark, almost espresso coffee note with a little bit of kind of savouriness, kind of light, almost light pepperiness almost. Again, same with the sweet potato. The ingredients aren't jumping out, so maybe it's not quite balanced, but maybe that's the notice, that kind of slightly earthiness. Going to review Special Brew tonight. It's one, yes, one I should do at some point, maybe, I think. Never got round to it. Still get it in the supermarkets. I saw a can the other day, and I briefly thought I should do that at some point. Maybe that's 1,000 sub video for a laugh. I don't know. That'll be the mainstream beer. That's next week. I'll think about that next week. I never said I was doing one because I didn't get a chance to. So I'm not compulsed. I'm not contractually obliged to do 1,000 sub video, even though everybody else seems to. I'll think about that. It's nice. I like a dark lager. I like a bit of coffee. Can't stand cold coffee unless it's in beer. But yeah, it's a very strong, dark black malt kind of note. Very little in the way of chocolate. There's definite kind of really dark, really, high high cacao note, whatever it is. I saw one the other day, 75%. I don't know what that means. I've never actually tried it. I bought it for someone. But yeah, this is nice. It feels like a bit of a finish of the evening kind of beer without being like a heavy stout kind of thing. It's definitely got that. It's got that lightness of the lager. Not massively fizzy, so it's not like it's carbonated, but not obviously not like a fizzy lager, which aids the drinkability. Depends if you don't like dark coffee. This one will be a bit difficult, I guess. It's almost going towards that kind of leathery cigar type note. Sometimes I get on a dark beer or like certain stouts. I always say about that leathery cigar kind of smoke or leathery sofa kind of note. There's a little bit of that, but again, all balanced across it. Sweetness coming through a little bit more now. Absolutely solid beer. Still great condition. A little bit of lacing. No, I don't think there is. There's no sometimes on that thing you get a kind of a bit of plumminess, but there's no real fruitiness. It's definitely towards the savoury edge, with that kind of. I suppose that's the burdock, maybe. No fruits. No, I mean, now you've said it, there might be a hint of plum from the sweetness, but no actual fruit notes. But yeah, no, it is pure kind of that rich roasty coffee, and really dark chocolate, without all the sweetness. Opened Milson from Sure Shot as was sweating and needed something pale. Well, Sure Shot got you covered for that, eh? So I've only ever had the one Sure Shot beer. Another one I should get around to when I eventually get onto double IPAs and hoppy pales. But yeah, as long as it's cold, it'll be all right, won't it? I like what Sure Shot do. I like the cans, but well, I went big with my first Sure Shot, didn't I? Now that's what I call Sure Shot. That was a big old double IPA. I only got it for the musical reference, really. Yeah, you don't see so much porters and stouts from Sure Shot, but no doubt decent. So I'm going to have to look this up now, because you know how we use beer for learning on this channel. and nobody's actually told me what burdock is. So I'm going to have a look because I really want to know what is burdock. I mean, if I saw a burdock plant growing in the woods or wherever, I wouldn't know what it was. So let's have a look. That looks like a thistle. Arctium is a genus of biennial plants commonly known as burdock. Proper sciencey stuff here. I mean, that looks like a mad plant, to be fair. That looks like a mushroom. Burdock's clinging properties, in addition to providing excellent mechanisms of seed dispersal. Let's think about that. Can't explain it. Right. That looks like vicious little bastard plant. Actually, I think I've seen them growing. I didn't know what they were. There's a lot of sciencey stuff going on, but yeah, well, that's burdock. It's kind of spiky, kind of. So it looks like a bit like Day of the Triffids, doesn't it? I wonder what bit they use. Burdock flowers provide essential pollen and nectar for honeybees around August when clover is on the wane, and before the goldenrods. Yes, if we've heard of goldenrod. Yeah, I wonder which part they use. Burdock drink. I mean, they commonly put it with dandelions. I guess maybe dandelions and grow together. I'm sure we've got Fentimans up the farm. The Austin Loaf sell that, so that could be an interesting comparison. Then I share an origin with a number of drinks originally. Okay, from the root. The dominant flavour in these drinks is sassafras or wintergreen. No idea what they are. Yeah, used artificially. I wonder what this is, whether it's natural or artificial. Can't think what sarsaparilla is. There we go. Ben Shaw, talking about Ben Shaw, a Huddersfield businessman. So it's proper Yorkshire company, isn't it? 1871. Fentimans and Bar, yeah, I recognise them. Right, okay, well, not learn a lot there, but it's interesting and nonetheless. There we go. Burdock is a root. Yeah, as we just found. You don't use a flower, use the root. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the comments. Mercy shouting at me, the fucking root, Disco. I'm trying to find out things. I need two screens. I need one for the comments up there and then one for what I'm looking at. Yes, thank you, Mersey. I apologise for not getting your knowledge earlier. I was looking on. Yeah, so burdock is a root in drinks, and plenty of them there are. So I'm still not sure quite what it gets in this beer. It could just be a black lager for me. Black lager as opposed to a dark lager. It's definitely very, very black with lots of black malts. Let's have a look on the can before we forget. See what we can find from here. They'll probably tell me burdock is a root, won't it? Right, so they say on the side of the can, we've teamed up with Ben Shaw's to create a delicious black lager with the flavours of their iconic dandelion and burdock. Best enjoyed with a chippy tea. I'm sure that's Ben Shaw Shandy, to be fair. What does it say? Malted barley, wheat. Oh, then it goes all French for no apparent reason. No, they've decided not to say what the ingredients are apart from malted barley and wheat. That's annoying, but oh well, haven't learned anything there. Best before the 17th of July 2025. So although that's set in my stash for probably 6 months, it's a lager. So long. You soak the root, if I remember correctly. My granddad made it from scratch once. Fair play. I imagine it's like I've seen dandelion roots. They're quite kind of thick tuber type stuff, so I can see how that works. It works in this beer, wherever it is or whatever it is. How it compares to a regular black lager, I don't really know. But yeah, like I say, I'm not normally a fan of that kind of black coffee kind of taste, but it's there, and you can taste that there's something else about it. There's a kind of slightly savoury umami edge again, slightly almost herbal, like I say, almost tobacco-like as well. Definitely slightly vegetal, slightly plant-like in that kind of savoury umami edge, alongside that kind of dark kind of coffee note. I like it. I don't think it's that weird at all because you've got Dandelion and Burdock in drinks anyway. Definitely kind of fairly old school. It's not quite. Would be interesting if you fetch up that can to see that comparison. Oh, I'll tell you what, Mr. Wilson, that's what I was going to say. I do have a bit of a challenge for you if you're up for it, as long as it doesn't take you too far out your way. But if you know of anywhere locally that stocks Budvar Dark, and you can you can fetch up a couple of bottles of Budvar Dark on Saturday. I've been looking around. I'm sure they used to be in supermarkets, but I can't see them. I could order them, I think, online, but I don't really do supermarket online ordering. So if there's any shops near you and you happen to be able to fetch over a couple of bottles of Budvar Dark, I would be obviously happy to more than remunerate you. A little bit of a challenge. I know I've only given you 2 days for that, but 3 days. But if you don't, also doesn't matter. It's not a problem. Just one of my crazy ideas. So yeah, challenge Mr. Wilson. Couple of bottles of Budvar Dark on Saturday, if you can. No problems if you can't. I thought they were in. I went round again when I was looking for those miles the other day. I went around all sorts of supermarkets, and I thought they were in at least one of them, Budvar Dark, or they used to be in Waitrose. I thought. Can't see them in my Waitrose, but Home Bargains, right? Yeah, that'll be why. I haven't got Home Bargains locally. Oh, mind you, I am out driving tomorrow. Okay. I've got a B&M, which is not quite as good as Home Bargains, but yeah, not a problem, mate. It's just a crazy idea if you happen to know of any of. I saw them. I saw one bottle the other day in a local local like off license on the way home from work, but I didn't actually have time or money, cash to pick one up. So, not a problem if you can't. It's fine. No, not in B&M. Okay. Like I say, I went in. Yes, it was B&M. So it's B&M, not Home Bargains. It's Budvar Dark in cans. What that'll do? That'll do 500ml cans. Fair play. Home Bargains has Budvar Dark in cans. Yeah. I'm going to look because I'm out in the car tomorrow, so I might have a little drive around. 500ml cans probably still only about £2.50 because I think the bottles are only a couple of quid. But yeah, okay, yeah. Don't worry, I'll sort that out. Where can I go? I'm not a big fan of walking around Home Bargains any more than I am B&M, but there you go. Yeah, it's only because I've got a dark lager on. I want to do the comparison. Be interested to do a comparison with this one as well, maybe. It gets a little bit more sweeter down the bottom end. Fairly decent on the lacing and the conditioning. Head retention is good. I love it when a beer does that, have that little bit of head all the way down. Two really good beers, to be fair, so far. Really enjoyed this one. So much so that, yeah, I've been waffling on for an hour, thanks to you guys. Superb. The mild stream the other day, I think I laboured it a bit because I had nothing more to say than these beers are average. These beers have been fantastic. Yeah, so cheers for helping us out with that, guys. I'm going to move swiftly on to the third one. I don't know which one I'm most looking forward to, this one or the third one. But anyway, yeah, cheers. Enjoy the beers. despite that little robustness, little savoury edge, really easy drinking because it's got that lager note. Yeah, really nice beer. That just balance all the way down, same flavour, doesn't really change. Maybe gets a little bit sweeter. 12-pack on Amazon, but expensive, and also against all my moral fibre to use that fucking company. So I won't be doing that. Right, get off the soapbox, Disco. Bad enough you're moaning on about beer mongrel. Yeah, sorry, thank you. Right, let's move swiftly on. I remember 179. Blimey. Yeah, exactly. Even if it's like £2.50, you'd be grand, isn't it? Right, moving swiftly on. Beer number 3, please. Now, beer number 3. Arguably, possibly the oddest of the 3, maybe. Certainly the oddest can. It is a brewery called Vet and Lazy, which I think means wet and lazy in Dutch. It's from the Netherlands. It's a 4.8% Oyster Mushroom Porter. You know, I like me dark beers. I like a bit of porter. And I like something a bit weird. So it's ticking all the boxes so far. Let's get it into a glass and see what we get. Nice little can. Really strange brewery name. Pours out quite thick and quite dark. Nice head development. Yes, I'm putting it in a beer 52 glass. Because why not? That's where I got the beer from. Beer 52. And if I got my dates right, you would have seen it on the video this evening. But that's going out tomorrow now because I got my dates wrong. So 5 o'clock tomorrow, I'm going to put out the video of how I got beer 52'd. Again, willingly. I went to beer 52 because I saw this one on there. I'd already cancelled the Dutch box that this was in because I didn't want a bunch of beers. Let's say cancelled, postpone. You never actually cancel it. You postpone it month on month. More about that in a second. Let me do the photo. I put it in a beer 52 glass because I've got them and I do like branded glasses when it works. I don't like do it all the time because otherwise I'd end up having hundreds of different glasses. And I'm not, as from all the beer, no idea. That's not a slight. I love the fact he clicks glassware. I just haven't got the room. And in fact, Baz from all the beer, no idea is where I saw this beer because I would have passed it up originally because I didn't want the box from beer 52, but I saw this was in it. So I went back on their web shop, which isn't bad to be fair. And I talk about that in the video coming out 5 o'clock tomorrow about how I got beer 52 and how, you know, some beers from beer 52 are, well, they are what they are. But I go back to them, and again, I've explained this in a video. So I've explained this in a video previously where I still beer 52 occasionally, because sometimes you see some random stuff like this that you're not going to get anywhere else amongst all the session IPAs and all that. You see something that tickles my fancy, piques my interest, I suppose. Let me just check that photo, sorry. Just had a thought. Oh no, it went. Yeah, it's fine. So again, looks lovely in the glass, nice and dark. Couldn't really tell it apart, a porter from the dark lager because of the amount of dark malts and stuff in there. Unusual this one. Don't see too many mushroom beers. I know Wild Beer did one about 4 or 5 years back, and I ummed and ahed so long about getting it. I wasn't quite so into my weird beers then. I didn't actually buy it. Rob just got excited at the word mushroom. Oh, you're growing your own mushrooms. Didn't Verdant do a mushroom porter? I'm not sure. I didn't see Verdant, mostly because I don't look at Verdant that much, unless they got disco in the name. Did that recently? Yeah, no, I think it was wild beer. Maybe Verdant did as well. Cloudwater, really? Okay. Don't really do Cloudwater. Officiously don't do Cloudwater. More than I don't do Verdant. Cloudwater with a smoked stout with shiitake mushroom. Yeah, see, that would test my not buying Cloudwater resolve, I think. As much as a disco beer, if Cloudwater did a disco beer, but yeah, I'm not worried that I've missed out on that, but yeah, that sounds interesting. I can see that working. I've had 9 boxes. Yeah, I remember that story. Yeah, from Beer 52, and any other paid postage, cancelled mine. I just blocked the payment. I didn't know you could do that. I might have to. No, I just about. I've got enough reminders about the place to cancel every now and again. I'll see a video come up. As all the beer, no idea. Also, Uncle Jonah does some Beer 52 content. If you're interested in Beer 52 content, I will link that up. In fact, I'm doing the video tomorrow. So, right. So let's see what we get. I can't fit any more in the glass. There's a bit more left in there. It's because there's not mushroom. Ha ha! There's one for you, Slurpee. Where's Slurpee Dave when we need him? I can get away with that joke, though. I mean, Slurpee Dave can get away with that joke because he's such a fun guy. Smashing out of the park. Sorry, I'm laughing at my own jokes. You're not meant to, but whatever. No one else is laughing. I did say to my teacher at school I wanted to be a comedian. Whole class pissed themselves laughing. Yeah, not laughing now, are they? Yeah. Anyway, that was a Bob Monkhouse joke, by the way. Right, so nose is blocked up a little bit. Do you know what? There's a very, very similar dark malt note to that lager. A little bit of savouriness as well. I can't remember if I did that palate cleanse or not, but let's see what we get. I'm thinking big things about this. Cheers, anyway. There's a lot of salinity in the mouth from those last two. Nice thick body. There's no thinness really there. Lots of salinity. Not a lot of sweetness yet. Quite a bit of salinity. Quite a bit of savouriness. Definitely some umami going on there. Slightly odd against the kind of dark malt coffee notes. Very much more so than the dark lager. Again, I don't know quite where the mushrooms are, what they quite bring, apart from maybe that umami salinity kind of thing. Really interesting beer again. Really balanced. Feels good in the mouth. Nice and kind of smooth, but that kind of robust, kind of slightly rough edge. Lots more of that kind of coffee, dark malt note. No hint of chocolate, just really kind of dark, slightly bitter chocolate. But there's no... It's like that kind of, dark bitter chocolate without actually having any bitterness. And a kind of dark, slightly coffee bitterness without actually having any particular bitterness. It just tastes of dark, which is weird to say. Yeah, it just tastes that dark edge of dark chocolate and dark coffee. There's a little bit of coffee in there, I think. But yeah, this little bit of like, not quite buttery salinity, but kind of, that kind of saline kind of coating on the lips. I linked to Baz's video in the video coming out tomorrow. I don't think he was particularly keen on it. But it's probably not so much of a dark beer fan as me. And again, this has been sitting around for a while. I think this came out early on in the year. But it's nice. It's odd. but nice. For me, it's just got those dark, roasty, malty notes going on. Didn't see this. Right, so oyster mushroom port, and on the bottom of the can it says, "We do it with local farmers." I think there's a little bit of Dutch humour going on there, eh? Right, so Vet and Lazy Brewery in Rotterdam, which could be anywhere, Liverpool or Rome. I've been to Rotterdam. I took great delight in doing that joke posting on Facebook from the hotel window. Oh, okay, good. Right, so water, barley, oats, wheat, obvious. Magnat hops. Is that a Dutch or European hop? Never heard of Magnat. Is that the Dutch for Magnum? I don't know. Magnat hops, oyster mushrooms from Rottersvam. Rottersvam? Is that's not Dutch for Rotterdam. Rotterdam's Rotterdam, isn't it? And yeast. Brewed and canned for Vet and Lazy Brewery in the EU. Imported to the UK by Beer 52. I don't know if this is a Beer 52 exclusive. We'll have a look on the website in a minute, see if it's on there. Rottersvam. Gonna have to find out what that means whilst we're doing learning and stuff. Is a 330ml can. Slightly surprised, but best before 12th of December 2025. I am in date. I bought it in date. I had part of a mini keg of mushroom porter from Brewhouse and Kitchen in Chester. I still have nightmares about that beer. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's like I say, it's kind of unusual. If you don't like mushroom, and I've got several mates who are vehemently opposed to mushrooms in any form, don't like the texture, it can be a bit slimy or whatever. If you don't like mushroom, it's probably worth trying a beer like this, because I don't think there's an out-and-out mushroom flavour. I think it's more about umami against the sweetness from the malts, but there's not a lot of sweetness in this beer yet. It's definitely a bit of salinity, which is nice. I mean, sweet and savoury are opposite, therefore complementary flavours. Nice dark malt base, but not massively sweet straight up. Just a nice bunch of flavours. Nice, again, fairly well balanced despite those kind of slightly abject flavour spikes. But yeah, just really nice. Even if you don't like mushrooms, for me, it tastes like a pretty decent port. And I've got another can, so I'm going to have another go at some point. I say slightly odd with that savoury salininess, but no more odd than the other two tonight at the end of the day. It's nice. It's good. It's a bit unusual, but I'm not sure. It's not the most, I don't know, out there beer. The mushrooms don't bring anything more than Dandelion&Burdock and sweet potato brought in the other two, to be honest. It would be interesting to know what the beer is like without those adjuncts. And breweries probably tend not to do this. That said, we've got a coffee version of our dark lager, so you can actually have the difference. So we took a batch of the dark lager and conditioned it on some actual coffee, two kegs only. So you could have the difference and balance. You could see one the other. What these beers would be like without those adjuncts, I don't really know. I'm enjoying all of them. They're really nice. Like, it's like the other day on that mild stream where I was really looking forward to it, and then I went, oh, they're just not really all there, not really quite great. I mean, obviously these are stronger slightly. Well, even that one at 4.2 is still better than that 5.5 mild the other day, because they're a different kettle of fish. But this is nice. It's still available on Beer 52. Not that I want to promote Beer 52 particularly, but if anybody wants a free box, I've got codes. I just never share them out because I'm not massively into promoting Beer 52 because of what it is. And again, I say this in the video tomorrow. Bunch of generally session IPAs, although one or two higher ABV stuff. Had a couple of surprises in the box, which will be in a video tomorrow. And something unusual and a bit weird like this sometimes. So what I do is just sort of, what's the word? Not postpone. You stop the subscription and then restart it immediately. You pause the account. So I pause the subscription for a month. And then I have to remember at the end of the month to do it. And then I'll just go to the web shop and buy a beer like this or whatever if I want something specific. I think the last time I did that was my beer of the year in about 2021, that Bramble Porter, which is a kind of sour porter from Fierce Beer. I went back and then I went and bought some from Fierce. So it's a good way kind of finding out, as long as you know your parameters, you know what you're looking for, you know how to deal with it. But well, funny enough, I'll talk about that in the video tomorrow as well. The scarcity of 440s, they are getting a lot more 440s in now, and I drink a 440 as part of the order. So I got these in, and I had to put something else on the order. I'll talk about that in a video tomorrow. If I put the video out this evening, which is what I meant to do, but last night it just went over the midnight, and I got my dates wrong. Don't ask me how. I found out about 5:05, like, where's the video? And it was up for tomorrow. So you can watch that tomorrow because I'm not going to do a live stream tomorrow, like I say, because I'm out and about. But yeah, Beer 52, predominantly 330 cans, which I don't mind per se. When you get something like this and you want to maybe try something, give it a go. But 330s are on, 370, 380, 390. It's a lot for that size can, when you can get, you can pay £3 for 440s or some stuff. Anyway, that's on the video tomorrow. That's a discussion in the comments for tomorrow. But when you get a 330 of something weird or unusual, rare like this, it's worth the gamble, arguably. It is for me anyway. Like I say, I just pause it every month as soon as I remember. Like I was looking, I had to go on the Beer 52. I had to go on my Beer 52 account the other day when I was thinking about doing the stream and looking up the stuff. And it reminded me to check the subscription, and I paused it. Occasionally I'll see a Baz video or Uncle Jonah video when he's doing the monthly one, and it will pop up on me grid on YouTube, and I go, oh, Beer 52. I might watch some of their reviews or I might not. I might just go on Beer 52, but it's a useful reminder. I've also got a bunch of Beer 52 boxes sitting around here, which serve as a reminder to actually go on and cancel every month. But there you go. As I say, I think I normally try and get it down to an hour. And that mild stream the other day was only just over an hour. This has gone on. It'll be about an hour and a half by the time I finish. But I think that's an indication of the beers, how much I've enjoyed the beers, as much as how many of you beautiful people have popped in to say hello. I've really enjoyed these beers. Find plenty to talk about with them. I don't know which one's been the best, actually. Of these three, I don't like to say which is the best because they've all had their individual qualities. The Japanese one was a good, strong amber ale, nicely balanced, had that kind of savoury note going on and a bit of sweetness. Not really had any fruit tonight at all, which is fine. I really enjoyed that black lager. Again, it was dark, sort of bittery chocolate coffee kind of note. All three of them, I'm not sure where the adjunct is. And I always enjoy the weird adjunct discussion. Mushrooms are a bit odd. Oh, some savoury burps there. That's where the mushroom is. I've just burped fried mushrooms. I like mushrooms. What can I say? Great breakfast item. yeah, really nice set of beers tonight. I've really enjoyed these. I'm gonna savor this one. I'm gonna pair it with some more sweet potato snacks. Yeah, that's it. I don't need to look at any more stuff. I don't need to learn any more stuff. Or did we look at the? No, we didn't. Didn't look at the Vet and Lazy website. Let's have a look. Don't go typing wet and lazy into Google. Type vet and lazy. I think it's Dutch for wet. Some really good stuff on there. Some really odd beer names. A Belgian blonde, an IPA. Probably won't be able to get these in this country. I've got a web shop. Not enough information. So we've got some tall bottles. Sweet baby Jesus. Bohemian. A double. What's that? Is that their brewery? Looks like an old swimming pool. Anyway, I'll leave you to check out Vet and Lazy's website yourselves. That's good. I'm done. I've really enjoyed this. A really good set of beers. Really unusual adjuncts. If you see any other weird adjunct stuff, do let me know, either in the comments of this video or over on Instagram or anywhere really. Let me know. I'll always look at some unusual stuff. Like I say, gonna look at the Japanese knotweed beer on Saturday. Looking forward to that and people's thoughts on that. Mr. Wilson, as always, thanks for popping in. Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. Hopefully the weather will be all right. Not too much of it's meant to be a little bit wet, but as you know, we got a bit of cover, so it should be okay. Not doing a stream tomorrow night, out and about tomorrow night, hopefully. Having a pint, and then busy for the weekend, brewing on Friday. I hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see a bunch of other shows planned next week. I can just see a little bit of shelf space on the in the beer stash, so I'm going to hope to get through them and do a few more shows and beer reviews next week, and then get the reviews written out on Instagram. I spent a lot of afternoon looking around for another one on that Gravity Well from Sunday. That absolute dessert in a glass. So yes, there we go. I've been Disco of Just Disco Beer Reviews. You guys have been brilliant in the comments. Thanks for popping in. The beers have been good. Happy damn rest of the week. Let me know about beers with Disco in the name and any weird adjuncts. And I will catch you for the next one soon. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Oh, no. And we will see you for the next one soon. I'm not going to get a chance to save this one. I'm just going to neck it and finish because it's really nice. Really nice. Glad I've got another can. Really works for me. That really nice porter. Unusual, but good. Yeah. Cheers. Cheers all. Have a great one. Cheers and enjoy the beers. Nice. Cue the outro.